Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6.
The Spokane Police Department says a man exchanged gunfire with police officers, and that man is now in surgery at the hospital. The shooting happened between Cedar Street and First Avenue in downtown around 11 on Sunday morning. A statement just released by Spokane Police says the suspect got out of the car and immediately shot at officers. They say one officer was injured with a wound to the head. He was treated at the hospital and then released. Our Peter Choi explains details of the shooting and neighbors' response to it.
It's something you don't want to wake up to in the morning. A person living in this building tells me he heard multiple gunshots right outside his apartment. Now the Spokane Police Department says an officer shot a man armed with a handgun, and the man is now in surgery at the hospital.
Imagine like hearing fireworks, but very random and very short.
It took only a second for Elliot Richard to realize it was not the sound of fireworks, but gunfires.
Can't tell you I saw too much. I just live in that apartment right there, and I heard close to 10 to 15 shots.
A person who is living across the where the shooting happened says
nothing quite like this.
He says he hasn't had anything like this occurring so close to where he lives.
Not particularly, no. I mean, there's never really been anything like this close.
Spokane police officials say the officers approached a man who was in his car as a part of a joint investigation with the Drug Enforcement Administration.
He emerged from the vehicle with a handgun and began firing at officers. Multiple officers and the subject exchanged gunfire.
The Spokane police officials say that one officer is injured from the exchange of gunfires.
Unfortunately, what we've been experiencing as a department is that some of these violent criminals are carrying firearms, and they're willing to use them against other people in the community and law enforcement with growing regularity.
They say the officer is expected to make a full recovery soon. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office is the lead agency for the investigation, and the Spokane Independent Investigative Response Team is reviewing the case. In Spokane, Peter Choi, 4 News Now.
Yellowstone National Park was able to reopen its northeast entrance this weekend. A large portion of the park was closed 4 months ago after devastating flooding in June. High water cut off one of the park's main arteries and isolated the small town along the northern gateway. The small towns of Cook City and Silvergate, Montana were partially cut off due to the closure. The former North Entrance Road completely swept away in some places. To reopen access, the Park Service chose to pave and expand Old Gardiner Road to connect the park to Gardiner, Montana. Effective Saturday, the National Park Service says 99% of the park's roads are now operational. And we've all been taking advantage of the beautiful weather that has felt a lot more like summer.
It really has.
But things are changing, Matt.
Things are going to change, so enjoy this warmth while it's sticking around, because it ain't going to be much longer until it actually feels like fall around here. And we are getting set for another beautiful evening. Temperatures quickly dropping into the 50s now in the Panhandle as the sun is setting. 65 in Coeur d'Alene, 70 still in Spokane. We're hanging on to that barely, and quite warm as well in the lower Columbia Basin. Overall, a really, really nice evening. Perfectly clear skies. Temperatures falling into the mid-40s, middle and low 40s as we are getting up in the morning. Our lows about 43 tonight in Spokane, 48 in Coeur d'Alene, 50s in the Silver Valley, and about 40 in Bonners Ferry, 30s for Colville, mid-40s Moses Lake and Ritzville. So very similar to what we have seen over the past several days. What is a little bit more unusual today is our neighbors to the west seeing bad air quality and a historic fire event this late in the year. You could see lots of smoke over the past, this loop over the afternoon, and those hot spots from active fires in Orange. Now, as the winds change and begin to stagnate out, that will impact air quality here in parts of the inland northwest. So coming up, your air quality forecast and when that pattern change will show up to make this fire season weather disappear.
Thanks, Matt. A Gonzaga student is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries after shooting himself Saturday morning. In an email sent by Gonzaga's president, Thane McCullough, the student suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound on in their on-campus apartment, and several people were present at the time. A statement released by the university says in part, based on the information currently available, there is no ongoing threat to members of the community related to this terrible situation. The student was transported to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries. Our deepest concerns and prayers are with the injured student, family, friends, and those present when the incident occurred. Counseling and other support services are being provided to anyone impacted. Gonzaga is cooperating with and supporting the Spokane Police Department in the active investigation. You can find that full story on KXLY.com. And deputies arrested a suspect who they believe stabbed and killed a man in Spokane Valley. 21-year-old Aaron McCader was booked into jail for second-degree murder and unrelated arrest warrants. Investigators learned McCader is related to the victim. Police say the two men were fighting in a neighborhood near Boone and Dorn Court. One man stabbed the other and took off, and that victim died at the hospital. And Saturday afternoon, authorities in Stockton, California announced an arrest in the case of 6 murders. Since April of 2021, 7 people were shot, 6 men died. A woman survived her injuries. Police used ballistics to link the 7 cases. Here's ABC's Mona Karsar Abdi with the details.
This morning, a major update in the case of a serial killer who went on a rampage that terrorized communities in Northern California. Stockton police announcing the arrest of 43-year-old Wesley Brownlee Saturday, while they say he was out hunting for his next victim.
We are sure we stopped another killing.
Police say Brownlee is connected to 6 murders in the Central Valley and in Oakland over the last few months. All of his victims, men ages 21 to 54, ambushed in the late night, early morning, including musician Lorenzo Lopez. They also say he's linked to a case in April where a woman was shot and survived her injuries. The surviving victim describing the shooter similarly to the person seen in this surveillance video released by police in dark clothing, a mask, and walking with a distinctive limp.
The arrest happened in 2 parts. One was community tips, and the second was good old-fashioned police work.
According to the police chief, officers followed and pulled over Brownlee at 2 in the morning.
As officers made contact with him, he was wearing dark clothing and had a mask around his neck.
They also found a gun.
We watched his patterns and determined early this morning he was on a mission to kill.
This arrest ultimately leaving the community with a sense of relief.
I felt so much joy for the families and relief knowing that we don't have to be paralyzed by fear anymore and anxiety in our community.
And there are changes to parking meters downtown, and you're going to need a new app. We'll go over all of that coming up. And a downtown bake shop is struggling to keep employees because of crime in the area. What the owner is doing to help fix the damage. And warmer than average temperatures probably have you still soaking up outdoor activities. We'll give you a bird's eye view of one in North Idaho Lake.
And we still have air quality alerts up for the rest of the weekend. And in fact, they've been extended now into Monday and will likely be extended through a good portion of this upcoming week for the Okanagan as well as Boundary County in Idaho. And that is because we're still dealing with air quality concerns after a very warm fall, which looks like is about to come to an end and will actually feel like fall around here. I'll show you when that happens coming up.
4 News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
4 News Now is brought to you by Culligan Water.
This is another one of those surprise medical bills you get in the mail. I've gotten them. You've gotten them. I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers. With inflation crushing our families, we need to put a stop to these. I support requiring hospitals, insurers, and doctors to disclose their prices so you can know the real cost and can shop around for the best care. I approve this message because no one likes surprises, especially this kind.
Inland Imaging and Community Cancer Fund are teaming up to beat cancer. Low-dose screening CT exams may reduce lung cancer deaths by more than 20% by finding early-stage cancers other methods miss. If you're over 50, a longtime smoker, or have other risk factors, lung cancer screening can provide potentially life-saving answers. Ask your doctor or call 363-7799. Inland Imaging. Answers you can trust and care you can count on.
At 23, I quit my nursing job to care for my wounded husband, student loans and all. We are living proof that the American dream is about hand-ups, not handouts. That's why I think it's insane that Joe Biden and Patty Murray are sending a stadium full of new IRS agents to force families making less than $75,000 to pay for someone else's law degree. It's division wrapped in intimidation, and I will stop them. I'm Tiffany Smiley, and I approve this message.
Right now, before rates go up, get what you really want. The coolest cars, the most powerful trucks, and the hottest SUVs. Get the max for your money during the Time to Buy event. Zero down, zero payments till next year. Zero cost max lifetime warranty. 2.9% interest. And get this, $4,000 over KBB for your trade. Plus, get a $250 gas card with purchase. Right now, the Time to Buy event. Hurry in, 7 days only. It all ends Tuesday night. Only at Max Auto Sports.
Joe Biden's open borders have threatened our neighborhoods and our children's safety. Fentanyl-related deaths have increased right here in Idaho. Gang members transport fentanyl and other dangerous drugs into our schools and communities. This has got to stop. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message. It's time we control the borders and shut down the pipeline of drugs and violence into Idaho.
Save your greed!
Getting started on another beautiful evening in the inland Northwest. Take a look at these temperatures for 9 and 11 p.m. Keep an eye on these. This is going to come up a little bit later at the end of the program. Some very similar temperatures for highs in our extended forecast, but really another wonderful and mild evening. And air quality is actually pretty good around much of the inland Northwest. Winds have been out of the south primarily today, south or out of the east. And so for most of us, that has really helped clear things out. We've really gotten a break in places like Wenatchee and around the Methow Valley for now. Unfortunately, I don't think that is going to last into the new week as the winds begin to shift once again. And of course, Bonners Ferry, we just haven't gotten a break at all. We're going to have to wait for that change of the weather to hopefully get some relief in Boundary County. Now, I'm going to go through smoke forecast for the next couple of days. We do expect some additional air quality concerns as we're waking up tomorrow morning from Omak south into the Wenatchee area. So basically, you draw a line here from Lake Roosevelt and everywhere to the west of there. We got to keep worrying about air quality for the time being, especially because you can see those North Cascades fires. They do stand up a little bit more as we head into Monday afternoon, so they will be producing more smoke. Most of that comes away from us, but as the winds gradually slacken off as we head into Tuesday and into Wednesday, more of that is just going to be spreading down the valleys where we all are, and that is not fun at all. Now, the good news here, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, you're going to be staying away from those air quality issues primarily. Stagnant and sunny, air quality up and down. The changes you're going to notice starting on Thursday, more clouds, and then we'll end up with a rain chance as we head into the weekend. So enjoy these beautiful days while we still have them. A mild start tomorrow morning as we get off in the car and get our week going. 40s through about 8 a.m. We'll be up into the 50s fairly quickly by 9 o'clock. 70s again with beautiful sunshine in the afternoon. Might be the last few 70s of the year. After all, our averages are way down in the 50s at this point in the season. So every 70 day could be our last, that is for sure. So another warm, toasty Monday, and then as we head later into the week, things are going to change. Big storm comes in, dropping out of the north. Here is Friday evening. Much needed rain into the Cascades, and perhaps even our first mountain snow of the year on Saturday. So probably going to have to break up the sweaters and maybe even the rain jacket for Saturday. Still a lot of time between now and then. We'll see how things evolve, but we do know that pattern is going to change. We got pretty high confidence in that, and look at the temperatures. I told you, low 50s, we're going to come back up here. That is Sunday, a week from now. How dramatically of a change. What a dramatic difference that is right there, Emily.
That Saturday forecast looking very cozy. Thanks, Matt. Well, these warmer than average temperatures are giving us one more shot at summer to break out the kayaks and paddle boards and enjoy the many lakes and rivers in the inland Northwest. Tonight, we are giving you a bird's eye view of what it's like to be on the water in the middle of October. Let's go for a ride over Priest Lake in this week's Air for Adventure.
has been just phenomenal at Priest Lake. The tamaracks haven't even turned yet, but in the fall, the hills are just a golden blaze of color when those trees turn. We've had such a beautiful fall this year, and I particularly like to kayak in the fall because the lake is so calm. It's just like glass. And also the temperatures are warm and hardly any wind, which makes for really primo pristine kayaking. Kayaking just brings so much peace and solitude, and it's good exercise, but there's just something about the rhythm of paddling and just kind of letting your mind go and be able to enjoy the scenery, listen to the birds, see the wildlife. I love to photograph from the water. There is such interesting views and vistas that one can get when you're right down on the water. It creates just wonderful photographs, and it's just stunning. Because I do like to photograph, I try to get out in the golden hour when the sun's just the hour before the sun goes down, and early in the morning when the sun starts setting is absolutely gorgeous. This time of year is my favorite. It is absolutely stunning. It's quiet, the lake is calm, the trees are turning, the wildlife is in abundance. The season is magical.
Shattered glass and belongings scattered. This is what employees at Sweet Frostings have found too many times after finishing up work. Sweet Frosting says it's struggling to keep employees because its parking lot is a hot spot for crime. Now, on top of paying to use the parking lot, they're trying to help repair employees' windows that have been smashed. The bake shop says they've dealt with crime as long as they've been in business downtown, but says in the past few weeks it's gotten much worse. They've tried to set up security cameras, but can't because they don't own the parking lot. If you walk into their store, you'll see a tip jar. They're trying to raise $3,000 to pay for the damages.
We're parking in Diamond parking lots, which is everything that we have available to us. So if we had another place to park, we would. But we probably, as a company, as a whole, pay probably upwards of $2,000 a month or more to park in these private parking lots that give us absolutely no protection.
Diamond Parking Lot owns the lot that Sweet Frosting's employees park in, and 4 News Now has reached out to Diamond Parking for comment, and we have not heard back. And Abbott Labs is recalling certain lots of its 2-ounce ready-to-feed liquid formula because of a problem with the bottle caps. The tops may not have been sealed completely and could cause the formula to spoil, which could cause stomach problems. Most of the affected products are distributed primarily to hospitals and doctors' offices. The recall does not include any powder formulas. Abbott says the recall involves a small fraction of total infant formula and should not affect the overall supply. Affected lot numbers can be found at similacrecall.com. And if you park in downtown Spokane, take your phone out and download the Park mobile app. It's the only way you'll be able to do contactless payment at parking meters starting today. There are also new parking meters that have just been installed in downtown Spokane. They're color-coded according to the time limit. You can pay with a credit card, debit card, or coins at the new parking meters. But again, Park Mobile is what you'll need if you'd like to do the pay contactless way. Kirsten Davis with the City of Spokane says more upgraded meters are still to come.
We have that downtown core handled, and then the next phase will be, as funds allow, throughout the future, to then get the rest of those outside of the downtown core area meters replaced over time.
This is what those old meters look like. Right now, they each have different color-coded stickers to indicate the time limits. For more information on new parking meters and how to use Park Mobile, you can find this story on KXLY.com. 4 News Now will be right back.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
It's time for change. It's time to heal the division in our state.
As a representative of the people, I will fight for free enterprise and protect small business from the overreaching runaway government. I feel strongly that my skills and experience developed from my professional career are desperately needed in Olympia. It's time for less overreach and more freedom. I'm Suzanne Schmidt for 4th District Representative, Republican.
Oh, life, we have faith that this foe can be conquered. We promise to focus our best minds on making you well. Be brave, be hopeful. You couldn't be in better hands. Providence, we see the life in you.
It's time for 4 News Now, Coats for Kids. Just drop off new or gently used coats at any of our sponsored locations. We'll bring them to Alsco for professional cleaning, then get them out to local children in need. Donate to Coats for Kids through October 31st.
Hello, I'm Denver Toon. Jewelry Design Center is very proud and excited to partner with 4 News Now's Coats for Kids this fall. So stop by the store, help your community, and donate to those in need. You can also get your free jewelry cleaning and inspection while you're here.
My dad was a World War II veteran. The promise we make to veterans to care for them when they return home is personal to me. I've brought senators from both parties together to increase benefits, help more veterans find homes and good jobs, and hold the VA accountable to give veterans the excellent care they deserve. I'm Patty Murray, and I approve this message because I'll never stop standing up for Washington's veterans.
Do you want to save energy this winter? Time to talk with the experts at Country Homes Power. Save on Valor gas fireplaces that distribute steady, even heat even when the power is out. Turn down your furnace and heat wisely with Valor. Shop the savings at Country Homes Power today.
This evening in our For the People election coverage, a big election we've been telling you about is the Spokane County prosecutor race. Whoever's elected will shape how the county fights crime and holds people accountable. 2 candidates are trying to earn your vote. Esther Bauer introduces us to who's running and their vision for the position.
Larry Haskell is the current county prosecutor, elected in 2014. He says being tough on crime is key to safety.
The fact is that the soft on crime, the more gentle approach, the alternatives, and we use those here, but to the extent that my opponent is advocating, those jurisdictions are doing very poorly. Look at King County, look at Seattle.
His opponent, Deb Conklin, says what he's suggesting isn't working because crime rates are still rising.
If we want to stop the revolving door, if we want to reduce crime, if we want to have safer neighborhoods, we have to address the root causes of crime. That means we have to be more interested in using the drug court, the veterans court, the mental health court.
Haskell blames a lot of the issues on Olympia, saying if reelected, he would lobby for more power to be put back in the hands of law enforcement and will take a stronger stance on drugs.
I'm going to try to lobby the legislature to put mandatory treatment in regardless of whether they make it a misdemeanor or whether they make it a felony.
Conklin says she would try and help the capacity issue at the county jail by using pre-trial release programs and monitoring people from home.
We have ways to keep the community safe and also reduce the jail population and help people.
Conklin says the office has lost the trust of the people.
The reason I'm running in this race is because it is critically important that the people of Spokane County have faith in their prosecuting attorney.
Numerous media outlets reported on racist comments Haskell's wife made in the past, something he still says doesn't influence his ability to be fair.
I apologize for those comments, but they're not the policy of the office. They're not my policy, and they never will be my policy.
This current pastor wants to unseat the current prosecutor. Both say they are ready for the role and prepared to lead the largest law firm in Eastern Washington. Esther Bauer, 4 News Now.
And you can submit all of your questions and concerns about the midterm election and find our full voter guide on KXLY.com/forthepeople. 4 News Now will be right back.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Coeur d'Alene Convention and Visitors Bureau.
You didn't live this strong, this long, to get put on the shelf like a porcelain doll. But 1 out of 2 women over 50 will suffer a fracture from osteoporosis. You should know you can build new bone with Evenity for postmenopausal women with osteoporosis at high risk for fracture. Ask your doctor if you can do more than just slowing down bone loss with Evenity. Want stronger bones? Then build new bone. Evenity can help in just 12 months. Evenity is proven to reduce spine fracture risk by 73%.
Evenity can increase risk of heart attack, stroke, or death from a cardiovascular problem. Do not take Evenity if you have low blood calcium or are allergic to it. Serious allergic reactions and low blood calcium have occurred. Tell your doctor about jawbone problems, as they have been reported with Evenity, or about pain in your hip, groin, or thigh, as unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred.
Don't let a break put you on a shelf. Talk to your doctor about building new bone with Evenity.
Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning is your family-owned and operated #1 HVAC contractor in the Northwest. Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning would like to introduce our own carbon reduction program. Buy a new energy-efficient furnace from Bill's Heating and receive a matching air conditioner with installation absolutely free. No hidden fees, no conditions, no exceptions. Buy a furnace, get a free AC from Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call today for estimates and repairs.
At Mazda, we engineer confidence behind the wheel for all our drivers. The fact that the 2023 Mazda CX-5 remains the only small SUV in its class to achieve the highest rating in the new IIHS Side Impact Crash Test as of July 2022 ensures this confidence also extends to our passengers.
The all-wheel drive Mazda CX-5 was built for the Pacific Northwest. Come take a test drive and reserve yours today at Foothills Mazda or shop now at SpokaneMazda.com.
Tiffany Smiley celebrated the overturning of Roe versus Wade.
There's no way I can trust her to protect us.
Tiffany Smiley would tip control of the Senate to Mitch McConnell.
That is a disaster.
She could give Mitch McConnell the power to rig the courts with more anti-choice judges.
And pass a complete nationwide abortion ban. This is serious stuff.
And Tiffany Smiley still supports Donald Trump.
No way. No way.
No way we can trust Tiffany Smiley.
Women voters responsible for the content of this advertising.
Well, Emily, we talked a lot about above average weather, and we got a lot of that again this week, but you look at next Sunday's forecast, that's the first below average temperatures both in the morning and in the afternoon that I can remember in many, many weeks, probably since the last time we got rain kind of at the end of September. So it has been a very long stretch. It's been wonderful and enjoyable. It's time for a change.
All right, thanks, Matt. We'll enjoy your Sunday evening. We'll see you here tonight at 11.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app. See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.